I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said, "Chief, how come you always say you know when it's on when the red light's on?" I'm like, "Because I don't know anything about the technology. That's why." And you're going to tell me the red light's on right now, aren't you? That's great. Well, good afternoon. Look at that, 12 noon. How about that? I usually I'm about 2 or 3 minutes late. I think one time in 2022 I got here early, so we're right on time. That's perfect. So this is our chat with the Chief session for December. Um, my gosh, can you believe in like 2 weeks we're going to be into the new year? This year's just flown by. So what we're going to do today is just have some conversations. My intent is to talk a little bit about the crime data, share with the community where we're at with crime, some updates. We're always going to focus heavily on violent crime, so I want to talk about that. We're going to talk about some events we had over the weekend and the last maybe 7 to 10 days. We're going to talk about recruiting. We're going to talk about the concert that we had here in our city. We did make a recent homicide arrest. We'll touch base on that. Some things I've been getting asked a lot of questions. You may have saw the mayor did an interview last night about some of the vape shops that we've done here to try to be open and transparent as much as I can there. And then we'll talk about recruits and those type things. So should have a pretty good hour. This is your opportunity. If you have a question or thoughts, statement, concern, idea that you want to share with me, please feel free. Crystal and Matt are both here with me this afternoon. You know what? It's pretty bad when you got to have two IT people with you to make sure you don't mess anything up. But I'm good with that because I'm not touching anything. Ms. Cox, thank you for being here. My first question was going to be the first person that logs on. Can you just let me know if video's coming across okay? We sound okay visually. We look all right. So Carrie, thank you very much. And also, Carrie, I want to thank you for the toy donation we have. We'll probably be using those this Friday. There's a nice event in the Southeast community that we will. I know I've given some to one family already, and those toys go a long way for sometimes people that may not be as fortunate or have larger families and struggle sometimes. But some of the toys you delivered, brought Christmas to some happiness, some smiles. I know Chief Creswell and I visited a couple places last year. Chief Grinstead's gone to the hospitals and just families that maybe some of the officers and detectives run across. So those go a long way, and I'm just really, really, really appreciative of you making the drive and the very generous donation for years that you and your organization have done for families here and kids here in Newport News. So thank you. All right, so it looks like Joy and Carrie both say we look and sound good. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'll start. Again, this is our chat with the chief for the month of December. Spend about an hour with the community today, and then we'll do this again this evening. Crystal is running the show with us today. What will happen is people send in comments or questions. I'll try to read each one. If I miss one, charge it to my heart. I'm not doing it on purpose. So you may hear Crystal say, "Hey, wait, Chief, slow back, go back up, or slow back down, or scroll back down, or whatever it might be," to make sure that we hit each one. That's my intent. If someone asks a question about a particular case, I'll try to be as open and transparent as I can. I don't want to do anything to hurt the case with the Commonwealth Attorney, with detectives, other interviews that might be taking place. But I will brush across it and talk a little bit about as much as I can without jeopardizing anything. I think that's important that we're open and transparent with our community in questions. So, so I just hope it's interactive. I know the holiday seasons are hustle and bustle. There's a lot of different things going on, so maybe if you're able to tune in later on or watch it at different segments. But I will be back again. We'll do this again at 6 o'clock this evening, and I'll be here with Miss Kelly King. So we have one of our interns here with us as well. Just that's interested in law enforcement, so she'll be watching along, and if I kick something and unplug it, maybe she'll rush to my rescue. Carrie, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Joy, thank you for the arrest on the recent homicide of the teen. Joy, I will tell you, we're going to talk about that. That was any loss of life is tragic, especially at the hands of another, right? But when you start talking about juveniles, it was one of the top priorities for us. We had some good information to roll with. The community was extremely helpful. The technology that the city has allowed us and entrusted us with that we're going to be responsible for, that played a huge role in locating the individual, obtaining warrants, working with our Commonwealth attorney, and making the arrest. So we will talk about that. But it was I got the news early yesterday morning. I thought it was probably going to happen Friday. Some things didn't fall into place, and it did happen yesterday morning. So we'll talk more about that shortly. Any update? Say again. Okay. So that all right. So that's one I can't touch base on that right now. All right. So we're all caught up here, right? So let me start out with the community to first touch base on where we're at with our crime rate. So currently the city is down about 8% in violent crime. That's on top of the 14% reduction we had in violent crime last year. So if you put those two numbers together, from 23 to 24, we had a 14% reduction in crime, right? And then we have another 8% reduction on top of the 14. So if you went back to 23, 24, and 25, that's a good trend. I like to look at about a 3 or 4 year average of where we're going, not just year to year, but kind of look at where we are overall. The two things that I'm most happy with is last year we had a record low in shootings, non-fatal shootings. Someone shot in the arm, the leg, and currently this year we are 5 shootings below where we were this time last year. In our homicide rate, we have about a 25% reduction. This time last year we had 22 homicides, deaths, and we currently sit at 17. Of the 17 homicides we've had in our city, 12 of those are already cleared by arrest. So we have 5 cases that are open. We've also solved 6 other homicide cases from years past. So 12 of the 17 this year, and an additional 6 from years past. The detectives have done an amazing job. Technology, officers, Commonwealth attorney, our community, all of those factors working together have just been phenomenal, and they've had a really good year. Now, when I talk about homicides, some of you have heard me say this before, so I just want to just put it out there. Marina, how are you? It's good to have you on board with us today. Brandon, thank you for that, my friend. I really appreciate that. Thank you, sir. When we talk about homicides and we talk about deaths, I always want to track those for data. I want to know if our strategies and the technology and our communication, if those are working. And if we're seeing solving cases and reductions, then I want to double down on that strategy, right? But if those strategies and those things that we're doing and we're still seeing increases, then we got to be flexible. We got to change. We can't just, let's just keep doing what we're doing and maybe it'll turn, right? We have to try different things. So that's why I look at it as data points and seeing if our organizational structure, our methods, our strategies, our techniques are working. But I'm very, very cognizant. Please, and I'll share with you one of the things I want to touch base on, I want to hit it tonight too, is our homicide support group. But one of the things I want to touch base on is that every loss of life, that's an individual, that's someone's family, that's a community, our neighborhood, that matters to me. Every loss of life matters. We don't look at any of them differently. I got to sit down with a mother. We had our homicide support group Christmas party last week, and a good friend of mine, I sat down with her. We've talked really ever since I've been in Newport News, and regrettably her son lost his life in our city. And we just had a conversation, and we kind of went over, like, not leaving any stone unturned, making sure that we put forth the right effort. I do wish that we had some of the technology that we have today back then, but I wanted to reassure her and everyone who's lost someone that every life matters. I don't care about race, I don't care about gender, I don't care about zip code. Someone takes someone else's life, I want to know that we're putting forth everything we have into that case and finding those that are accountable. I know that it doesn't bring anyone back, but what I do know, or what I hope, is that it provides some type of closure as to what actually happened and who was responsible for that loss of life. And I just really appreciated the conversation I had with her and that we have had over the years. That homicide support group is exactly that. It's a group of individuals who've lost loved ones to gun violence. We have some that attend from Virginia Beach that lost loved ones across the water. We have some that are from out of state that have moved here. And especially when you get into holidays, that's hard. And to hear them help each other, talk each other through how do you get through holidays, how do you get through birthdays, how do you keep their memory alive, how do you get through the hard days, that there's no blueprint, that it's people grieve differently and at different spans of time. There's no right way to do it. They just offer conversations. And one of the things they talk about why they continue to come to that meeting with detectives, myself and Chief Creswell and others, why they come to that meeting with Dr. Cherry and Dr. Cheryl Shavers, why they come to that meeting is it's a place where they can come and sit with individuals who've gone through and experienced the same thing that they have, and talk to detectives about how we do our job, what can we do better. We don't get in there and really talk about cases. It's just how they're treated, how we work together and try to bring closure. And I think that humbles. I think that puts all myself and others looking at that it's not just a job, right? That we're connecting with those families, that we're going through this journey with them. We build in relationships, have conversations, and I know sometimes there's frustrations, but I see the hours that those detectives work. I see the hours they put in, and the toll it takes on them. So it was a great turnout. We had a great food was catered in. We had a really good time, some really good discussion. We have a tree downstairs that has ornaments of those that have lost loved ones, not just this year, but in years past, as far back as people want to go. That's decorated in the memory of that loss, and it sits in our lobby. I'm just very, very grateful, but I'm also very, very humbled for that meeting. Just wrapping up again, so we're below our shootings from last year, we're below our homicide rate from last year. Our closure rates, meaning arrests that are made case solved, are above the national average in every category. Homicide, rape, robbery, burglary, auto theft, larceny, we're above the national average. The FBI sets that national average, and they also set an average now. This is the first year where they did small cities, mid-sized cities, and larger cities. So I want to make sure that we're above the average of cities our size, and I want to make sure that we're above the national average, and we are in every single category. That lets me know that when a crime's happening, that we are solving them at a higher rate than what the average is across our country. So we're down in violent crime about 8%. And we're down maybe a little over 8%, and then we're down in property crime about 5% compared to where we were this time last year. We had a rough start with auto thefts in the beginning of the year, predominantly in the central precinct. We've seen that start to turn, but the cases being solved, the work that's being done, and Crystal, if you remind me, we're going to talk about environmental officers in just a second. I want to get caught back up here a little bit of where we were. So. Raven is the next one. Yes, sir. Also, stay in touch with the people in the city helps to get informed. Raven, I think that's a great point. I think staying in touch and having that open lines of communication. You know, one of the things I get from individuals who've lost loved ones or in cases is, hey, we just don't want to be forgotten. So it's important that detectives reach back out, have those conversations, even if nothing has changed, if there's nothing new. It's just letting people know that we haven't lost contact. So Raven, that's a great point. Pam, how were the vape shops caught with the big amounts of marijuana and mushrooms? Undercover buys, happy they are caught and closed. Did the same guy own all three vape shops involved? Wow, so I will tell you, Pam, that's a great question. That's one of the topics I have on there. So let's just talk about that for a minute. I think we've covered kind of where we're at with the crime. Seeing good decreases in violent crime, shootings, homicides, and our property crime. And for the year, we're down. And our clearance rates are up, so that's huge. That tells me that strategies and tactics we're using is being successful. And it's not just the police department, right? It's schools, it's Commonwealth Attorney's Office, fire department, police department, our faith leaders, our churches, all the different entities that we have play a role. So Pam, your question, if you've been on since we started, Pam, I will hit it a little bit. I don't want to go in too depth because there's more interviews and quite frankly investigations are ongoing, right? If you saw, we did put out a release yesterday, I believe, about some vape shops that search warrants were conducted at. Overall, we had about a little over 72 pounds, I believe, of marijuana, psilocybin mushrooms, that were confiscated. One shop, there was a firearm inside. And some of those investigations are ongoing. If you saw the mayor's interview last night, he and I have talked multiple times about the vape shops and what's going on there. Councilman Coleman has also been a big champion of having concerns about some of the activity that we're getting reported to. So if you're running one of those shops and you're within the code section and you're not violating the law, you have nothing to worry about. However, if you're running some of those shops and you're selling marijuana illegally, or you're selling other drugs illegally, if you're in legal possession of a firearm, you do have some things to worry about. We have gotten several complaints about several that type of activity going on in our city. Not saying all, but the ones we have got complaints on, we're looking into and addressing it. We've worked with our federal partners in collaboration with our Commonwealth Attorney's Office and our state agencies, right? But we can't have, walking into a store and hey, here's what's for sale on the shelves, Pam, right? Here's what's for sale on the shelves, but hey, in the back room we'll sell some other things that we shouldn't be selling, right? There's a state code that clearly talks about THC levels. There's a state code that talks about how much marijuana you can possess. Code that clearly talks about you can't distribute it, right? And I'm not getting into the political side and the what law should be out there and what should this and should that. What I'm saying is that some of the things going on in some of those shops are problematic, and some of them are illegal. And 3 of those had some interaction with the police department in search warrant type activity, right? And it wasn't just, hey, this one thing happened. It was, well, like I'll say, Pam, it was multiple things in an investigation. And I will tell you there are other investigations that are ongoing, and we just have to monitor and make sure that, like I said, if those businesses are doing things legally, there's nothing to worry about. But if you're doing things that are illegal associated with that business, then it is going to be problematic. So I hope that clears things up a little bit, Pam. I tried to put as much out in the press release we could. I know the mayor did an interview yesterday. I saw that last night. I was appreciative of that. He's been very, very supportive, and we had a lot of conversations. One of the things that concerns me is that stuff getting in the hands of young people, and we've had some issues with the edibles with young folks. It concerns me. We've taken people to the hospital for that, and they've gotten treatment for that. So those things concern me greatly. Just keeping our community safe and our neighborhood safe. So that's a great point, and I appreciate you bringing it up. I can't really get into who owns what businesses, what things they're looking at on the federal level. I'm just going to continue. What I will say, Pam, is if there are shops that are out there that are doing things illegal, that they will probably have some interaction with the Newport News Police Department. Jennifer, which Gloucester felt? Oh, I wish Gloucester felt that way. Justice for. Yeah, Jennifer, I will tell you, I never compare ourselves to other jurisdictions. I think any loss of life by the hands of another, things that go on. I'm very good friends with the sheriff there. We have good collaboration. I think all of us do in the Hampton Roads area. We bounce things off of each other and ideas, but I don't want to get into comparing us, to other jurisdictions. Latrice, I need justice for my baby, Maxwell. It will be a year on this Thursday. So, Latrice, what I can tell you. What I can tell you is never give up hope. You never know when someone's going to come forward. You never know when someone's at a different stage of life. You never know when new evidence is going to be uncovered. You never know when some video is going to be found. We don't have the technology we have today we didn't have 10 years ago. And as technology continues to advance, and as the chief and our city, we continue to push for new advances in technology. We're working on a pretty big acquisition now to bring to our city. I'm going to make sure that we stay focused and we're using it the right way. We're not taking advantage of that. Or we have checks and balances and measures that come into play. But some cases are solved right away. Some cases happen right in front of a camera, 3 witnesses that are around, and maybe a full confession. In some cases, we know who committed the act or the incident, and we have witnesses, but they don't want to come forward and testify. So we got to find another way around that. And then we have some that get reported maybe later to us, or that we find out later and we don't have any information at all. Each one of those losses of life matter to me. No one is more valuable than anyone else. I think our faith teaches us that. But we do have different circumstances around each one that may make the case a domestic situation where someone's still in the house. The situation we had at the mall where the individual was still at the scene. In some cases, we don't have that. But I will tell you this, it doesn't change our pursuit. It doesn't change the dedication. One of the reasons that we have 10 homicide detectives, and then we set another 3 aside to focus on cold cases, and a whole division that focuses on aggravated assault, is so those individuals don't get so overburdened with so many cases that they do have the time to focus on the cases that are in front of them that they investigate. So, Latrice, I hear you, and I'm just telling you, I've seen cases solved this year that have happened in years past. I've seen cases solved this year that happened 7, 8 years ago, before I was even here as the chief. Don't ever give up hope. And I know that's hard, but I'm telling you, if you don't, we won't, right? We're going to continue to pursue the best we can. Don't ever give up hope in that. And I appreciate you being here and chiming in. You have a great family, and I appreciate that. Joy, just seeing on Wavy road rage suspect arrested in our city. I think that was if it was on the interstate, that might be Virginia, the State Police. Great cooperation. We have a great partnership with them. They work a lot with us in the summer. We may do some. Sometimes we work with agencies that you openly see, and then sometimes we work with agencies that are behind the scenes and you never see. So, yeah, I think that might have been something with the State Police if it was on the interstate. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about some good news. We have 17 recruits. We have two academy classes in the academy right now, and we're hiring for the academy that will start in February. So we have 17 recruits that are going to graduate towards the end of June 22nd, June 23rd, I believe. Then we're going to turn right back around, and we have another class that will graduate in May, and then we're seeding the class now that will start in February. I just had two interviews with two young individuals, one from out of state, both of them are actually from out of state and have moved to Newport News. Some of the questions I asked them is, why do you want to be a police officer? And then they share that. And then the next question is, now, why do you want to be a police officer in Newport News? And I will tell you, you get a vast variety. People today, are able to get on the internet and surf a lot. We do require individuals who want to be officers here to do one ride-along, so they get to see what it actually feels like. But I'll tell you, both individuals I talked to today said they did their homework, and I get kind of 3 responses of why people choose Newport News. One is what they see in our community, from our social media pages, the thing that Kelly King and her shops post about the interactions. We're going to talk about that just when I talk about the 6, 7, 8 events that we had this weekend, that officers were at each one of those. But they see interactions, our focus on youth, our focus on community, our focus on people. The second is the training that we have in our city. The third is when they apply here, how they're treated from day one from the background investigators and the recruiters. There's a reason that we may call Steve 3 times in 1 week. It's not because, hey, you haven't called us back yet. It's like, hey, we want to make sure, we want you to know that we want you in this department. And I think that goes a long way. So the way you're treated, the training that we have, the culture that we have here in this department, we certainly make our mistakes just like anybody else. But I want people who are willing to do this job, to see the things that happen in communities and society, to be called away from home, and even on your day off, if we have a protest or a demonstration or a large concert or a large event or a marathon, that matters to me. And men and women who are willing to do that in this city matters to me, and I greatly appreciate that. I also think one of the strong things we have in our city is the relationship we have with our community, and the relationship we have with our city officials and our elected officials. I have strong conversations with our mayor, vice mayor, our public safety committee, hey, where are we at? They're interested in what goes on here. The mayor knows as much about the crime in our city, this focus on youth, as we do, as I do. I shared, matter of fact, he was the first call when we made the arrest. He had been very interested. He came to the scene at the mall. He was very interested about this young man that lost his life, this 15-year-old, and we have those conversations. So I think that's, and like I said, I'm not comparing us to anybody else. I'm just telling you what we have here and how beneficial and important that is to make our city successful. And our city administration, our elected officials have invested in this department. They've increased our staffing levels. They've provided us with the ability to obtain technology and have the amount of training that we have. And I hope that this community sees the benefit of that. Newport News, Chief Drew, wait, scroll back up for me just a minute. Chief, can't tell who that one's from. Chief Drew, thank you for the platform and giving the community the opportunity to speak and ask questions. Oh, you're absolutely so I will tell you, Ms. Brooks, the president of the NAACP, she serves on our Use of Force Review Board. She just came to a retirement ceremony that we have here. We have a strong relationship with the NAACP. They have done some training at our academy. We have a session set up. Ms. Brooks and the vice president came and actually went through the simulator and saw some of the training, and we're going to have a full training day for the NAACP to come and see what recruits go through, that officers go through each year in service. That goes a long way, and that relationships, again, that's important. And I don't know that you see that everywhere, right? Mayor Jones is on there? Well, Mayor, I will tell you, I don't know about all that, my friend, but I will say, now that you got me on the spot, my friend, and taking care of my nephew and all, I do appreciate the relationship and the support. I appreciate the conversations, some that we have late at night, and some that we have early in the morning. You always pick up the phone, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the conversations we have, the support, and the relationship. It goes a long way, and I will tell you, in other departments I talk to around the country, it's not always like that. And I just appreciate that. And I know the men and women, when you come to a scene and you go up, and I saw you at where we just when we were lighting the menorah at Hanukkah in City Center. The officers commented, "Hey man, the mayor came over and talked to us." That goes a long way with people. And I know your military background, your politics, and I will just tell you, sir, that means a lot to the officers, but it means a lot to me as well. I think our community sees that, and I just think that just continues to push us up. When individuals are looking for a department to join or a city to live in, I think those things are important. So I just appreciate the partnership, the relationship. One of the things we'll talk about is this weekend we had the parade, right? The Hilton parade, and the mayor was there, and he had my nephew with him, right? His youngest, his son, and it was just great. We just had a great time. It was a little cold, but we had a great time, so I appreciate that. Where did I leave off? Pam. Oh, okay. Thank you, Pam. I appreciate that. Sandra, thank you. Sandra, thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Joy, thank you. I saw you and the mayor at the Hilton Parade. Well, Joy, you're already ahead of me. So yeah. So we both have. You want to try to hit all these events we have in our community. I ran into him. I ran into Mayor Jones, my friend, probably 3 or 4 different times. I started out Friday night. We had FrostCon down in Gross. So it's kind of like events outside and inside. So I got to spend some time with the officers there, kids that were coming up and doing some different things. We had a portable roller skating. I got a little bit of peer pressure to get on the roller skates. I can tell you it didn't happen. There was no rail to hold on to. That's why, right? But it was a good time. I walked around inside and outside both. From there, I went up to Aqueduct Apartment Complex with Tommy Garner, and Mr. Coleman was there. Folks from the Boys and Girls Club. There was a big toy giveaway. It was about 70 or 80 kids. Myself, Chief Grinstead, and sergeants and officers were there to see kids rip into presents and unwrap. It was just phenomenal. And that's Friday. So we roll into Saturday. I was here at police headquarters. We had an all-day recruiting event. I was here with Chief Hires, Chief Grinstead. I think we had like 19 people apply in a good balance, right? Diverse group, black, white, Hispanic, male, female, man, I was really excited. The recruiters, Chandler and Watkins, Lieutenant Collins, Captain Spencer, Sergeant Millette, just do a phenomenal job. The background investigators. And when we ask officers, one of the reasons it's like 50% say they see it because of other officers talk about this department. And that's important. That tells me where morale is, that other officers are saying, hey, this is a good department to come to. This is what you have here. This is the benefits you have. This is the salary you have. These are the things you can do in this department, the opportunities you have. Now, we got to shed that a little bit from our federal partners who pick us apart for not only our officers, but our crime analysts and our forensic technicians because of all the experience they get and the training they have. But so the recruiting event was great. We left here. I ran into the mayor down at Heritage High School. There was Councilman Ely had a food giveaway. A lot of community members came out and support. A lot of families came out. You never know what people are going through and the situation that individuals are in. That was just a good event. We left there, and we did have the Hilton Parade. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but I got to go to another event. Every year I go over to the Chesapeake Retirement Community. They have a huge Christmas party. We got to interact. I took a picture with Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus. Had a great meal, interacting with the residents there and staff. They're just phenomenal. They have a gingerbread house building contest. This year I was glad to say that there was not a police gingerbread. Last year there was a gingerbread house. There was police. It looked great. And then on the top I thought it was like a chimney, but it was like a big donut, right? So this year I didn't see any police gingerbread house, but it was great. I remember trying to make those, and it would always collapse, and I would just have like a slab of gingerbread with icing. I never could get anyway, it was a great, man. I just had a blast. Took some pictures with folks there. Great people. We left there, did the Hilton Parade. We got to walk in that. Myself, the chiefs, the mayor was there as well. It was a great turnout. A little chilly night, but man, it was a really, really nice parade. Councilman Ely was there as well. Councilman Coleman. It was just Hilton just does a great job. So I had a really good time. And then from there, I got to stop by the Police Foundation Christmas party. There was a party at the Marriott I stopped by and checked on. And then we roll into Sunday, right? So now we're at Sunday and first night of Hanukkah. And if you saw what happened in the tragedy that happened in Sydney, Australia. So I met with Jewish community leadership early Sunday morning. We did a little video. There was some concern, right? We have the lighting of the menorah, first night of Hanukkah in City Center for years, and there was some concern. Is it going to be safe? And I will tell you, we sent out a little video to the congregation, parishioners, that police presence will be there. We're going to have a safe event. We have a great relationship with our Jewish community, and now I will tell you, it was bone-chilling cold Sunday night. And we're up there in City Center, like there was this wind tunnel, right? But officers were there, community came out, Jewish community did a great job. One of our officers actually got an award for the partnership and relationship that we have there with technology, some of the things we've linked in to be able to do. But it was just a great event, man, and just being there, I just felt an energy, a camaraderie, if you will. But we wanted people to feel safe, and we lit the menorah. It was just a great event. If you go back almost a week, we had our tree lighting event in City Center. I'm going to throw this at you. How about this? The tree. I'm going to see if anybody knows the name of the tree that's lit in City Center. Let me know. I know it. Let me see if anybody else. The tree does have a name. So we had the tree lighting event, family event, and then at a certain part we transitioned into a concert. Mario was here, was the headliner, put on a phenomenal concert. We had a great crowd, great turnout. We had a good police presence. I can't tell you the number of citizens that came up and said, "Joy, you're killing me." What did it take her, Crystal? 32 seconds? Yeah, Timber is the name. That's great, absolutely. But I will tell you, man, the citizens came up like, we feel safe here. All the police, fire, city security that were out interacting with citizens. There was a great traffic plan. Big shout out to Sergeant Shelton, Lieutenant Johnson, Captain Spence, the folks in Melissa Morgan, Lieutenant Barefoot, Peregrine, that City Center group. You guys the Central Precinct group, just did a phenomenal job. And the officers that came out. And I'm going to do a video after we finish our session here, just thanking the officers for the work that they did at that event. We did have a large group, but we wanted to make sure that our citizens were safe, that we had a good traffic plan. We were able to manage the traffic influx. City Center presented some different challenges because you had businesses going on, and there was a festival there as well that, from what I saw, was phenomenal. So it was just a really, really good event. We got through traffic. We didn't have any issues. I think we had one fender bender. It was all we had. Maybe we did have 2 children. I'm going to say the parents got lost, not the children. Parents got separated from the child, but we reunited them very, very quickly. Again, because of the technology. Lieutenant Churchill, his group, our real-time crime center, and the city officials. It was just a really great event. So if you got to see it, or if you came out, I hope you did. It was just a great event for our city. And we talked a little bit about the events that we had this weekend, and they're just going to continue. There's a couple events coming up this weekend, toy giveaways. Have some toys here at headquarters we want to give out to some families, so we'll continue to do that. I can't believe you got the name, Joy. Yeah, Timber is the name of the tree. I always come to the Hilton Parade because I was the crossing guard at Hilton for 8 years and know a lot of the kids. That's amazing. Yeah, some kids were there and they rode their bicycles. Not as many that ride in the 4th of July, but they were there. It was really good. I'll tell you this though. Let me tell you, Crystal. We're walking in the parade, right? Me, the mayor, council members, the other chiefs. You know what we got to do next year? We got to have some candy. Because I'm telling you, kids were giving us candy, right? We got to have some candy to give out. So Chief Creswell hires Grinstead. We got to get some candy next year. I don't know if we got to carry it in a wagon. We got to give out some candy, and I mean some good candy too, man. We got to give out some candy next year. David, great job. Oh, Dave, thank you for that, my friend. I appreciate that, and I appreciate the friendship as well. Timber. Did we get everybody? Am I caught up? Yeah, so some great events. Crime is down. We talked about our vape shops, talked about our crime data, talked about the homicide support group. I will share with our community, come January, we will have all 3 environmental positions filled in our department. Officer Greathouse, been here over 30 years, had his retirement ceremony. He helped us launch the environmental program. That's a direct relationship with city entities, works, and utilities, the NEAT team, if you will. Housing, and it's just about addressing blight, and then also working with homeless, right, from the human services side of the house. So he is retired. He mentored an individual in South Precinct that's kind of worked with him. So she's going to be the new environmental officer in the South. We have an officer selected for the Central now, and then of course most people know Officer Jensen in the North. So we'll have 3 environmental officers, one assigned to each precinct, working with other city agencies that can address, help out individuals that are homeless with resources, getting connections to human services, working with 4 Oaks, and also addressing blight, whether it's trash that's left out, maybe mattresses that are on a street corner, lights that need to have been knocked down, stop signs that have been over, houses that are abandoned and have plywood has been kicked in or whatever that used for different type of material or different type of activity. So that's another way, right? It's the environmental design, environmental side of crime prevention. Remember from when I was coming up, it's called the broken window theory. If you start with a house or yard that's dilapidated and left to go, it kind of sends a picture for the neighborhood. And I know our city officials, the police department, community want that stuff addressed, and it just gives us an angle, right? So when we have our ComStat meeting on Thursdays at 1:00, I want those police captains in those precincts to have every ability. I want them, their drug team or street team, if you will, their detectives that investigate crimes, that they have the allotment of officers that they need, that they have an environmental approach, and they have a traffic approach. That's what we're moving to, that they can address a canine, that they can address all the facets that they have and have the right connections. If you've heard me talk before, our mayor talk before, it is not just a police issue. It's building a relationship and a partnership with human services, the fire department, our faith leaders, huge faith leaders in this community. There's a church just about on every street in Newport News. Their Commonwealth Attorney's Office, my friend Chief Rogers, the fire department, Sheriff Morgan in the Sheriff's Office, Dr. Mitchell in schools, Neighborhood Watch organizations, right? Neighborhood Watch. Speaking of that, they had their Christmas event last night. It's working with different business groups. Um, all of those things play a role, right? Parks and Rec, city security, all the events that we have here, just making sure that we're all linked in. And we just encourage people, if you see something, to say something, and just the stuff that they have. There's a lot of momentum, a lot of good energy right now in Newport News. I want to make sure that we continue with that. The police department has a role in that, just like everything else, including our citizens and our businesses, and working together to make this just the best city, right? To live, work, raise a family, and that's important. And we've seen some of the entertainment that has been here recently. Some of the events. Remember Juneteenth and 4th of July, our Christmas concert, just good stuff going on in our city. And that neighborhood watch meeting last night was really cool. Did I miss anybody yet? Oh my gosh, Ms. Bazemore. Hi, Chief. I haven't seen you in person in a while. But follow your work in the city and communities. Thanks for all that you do. Yes, it would be good. Well, Ms. Bazemore, I appreciate that. You're absolutely right. Yeah, we got, and I saw some people throwing out candy, and I was like, we ain't got nothing. And then one kid, I think, saw me, and he brought me up. He gave me his lollipop. And I was like, man, we got to have some candy next year. So we're going to work on that. I'm going to put that in the police budget. It may be Chief Drew and Chief Grinstead, Chief Creswell, and Chief Hire's budget, but we're going to have some candy at those events. That's important. But Ms. Bazemore, I hope you're doing well, and hope you have a very, very good Christmas. Hope your family's well. Latoya, my friend, happy holidays, Chief Latoya. Thank you for that. It means a lot. Thanks for joining us today and being here with us. Donnie, do you ever have time for a cup of coffee? Donnie, I will tell you, I'm not a big coffee drinker. I'll make the time, but I'll tell you, I'm not a big coffee drinker. On some of those cold nights when we're out late at night, I can do one, but I'm a little hot chocolate guy with the marshmallows. But yeah, we can certainly, if you ever want to get together and have a cup of coffee. We do a lot of coffee with cops, right? If that's something you're interested in. But man, just let me know. We'll get something arranged, and we could do that. Latoya says, I'm about to purchase a house in Newport News just so you can be. Latoya, get out of here. That's awesome. I'm glad you're. That's where you should be. That's perfect. You got to let us know and. Come over and keep a watch in the neighborhood and get you hooked up with a neighborhood watch organization. That's phenomenal. So I'm very happy for it. That's a Christmas gift right there, right? That's a blessing. So we talked about tree lighting. We did talk about the latest homicide arrest we had. Again, I'm not bragging about that. I'm not spiking the ball across the finish line, but I do want to hold someone accountable for taking that young man's life. Yeah, I see some of the deaths that occur around our country, and certainly around surrounding jurisdictions, and the loss of young people, gun violence. Just how quick a life is gone, and life's touched so many people, right? There's families left behind, loved ones, whether it's our surrounding jurisdictions, across the water, and other states. The chiefs and I talk about that a lot. What else can we do? And I know, man, it's hard this time of year, and not just on tragedies. It's individuals that may be suffering, not having a hard time of year, and expenses, whether it's dealing with housing, homelessness, families people that you've lost loved ones, right? It's hard. And we talk a lot about that in our police department. About when I started, you really didn't talk about mental health too much. It's kind of like, hey, make sure you keep the calls for service cleared on your screen, and if you see something troubling, hey, get something to drink, catch your breath, and then go to the next call. And some people could suppress that, and others couldn't, and it would come out in different ways. Try to create an atmosphere here that we've really, really invested in our city as well, right? We have a department psychologist. We have our CISM teams where officers are trained by psychologists. We just went to some new technology that we were approved for last year, Allied Connect, where we're able to talk to professionals through an app on our phone. And one of the things I like, the two things I guess they bring to the table is if I want to talk to individual who may be older and have children and maybe been in the military, I'm able to, this is who I'm looking for, and they're able to, hey, these are 3 or 4 that meet the criteria you're looking for. Or someone wants to talk to a female, right? Or someone who's had experience, who has a single mother or whatever, that deals with, right? You're able to kind of, what psychologist would I like to talk to? A professional. The other side is we track every time an officer uses force, whether it's OC spray, physical confrontation, Aspeton, taser. But I don't right now really have a method for tracking. Officer Steve he went to an accident where someone didn't walk away from, and the next week he went to an overdose death, and the week after that he went to a suicide. Those things play a role in our officers, right? They're human just like anyone else, and we want them to go out and interact with our citizens. It's important that we're taking care of their well-being. So this system allows us to set up algorithms that when those things happen, we're able, I don't even get notified, but individuals that are professional, our CISM team, are notified that they're able to have those conversations just to do a check-in. Chief Creswell kind of calls it like checking in on your buddy, a buddy check-in, right? People in the military know about that stuff. People that work in high stressful jobs know, but just taking care of each other, right? I think in the Bible it talks about like my brother's keeper. It's looking out for people who are exposed to these things routinely, that we ask them to help other people. We want to make sure that they're taking care of themselves as well. I think holiday event, the Chesapeake recruiting all-day event, tree lighting concert, homicide arrest, the vape shops, crime data, homicide support group, environmental officers. I've kind of hit on the things I wanted to touch base on. Let me get back and make sure here. Ms. Vasquez, right? Mountain Dew. So it's Diet Mountain Dew, Ms. Vasquez. And you're right, I don't go far with that. One time I was on this session, and somebody's like, Chief Drew, Diet Mountain Dew's on sale at Food Line. That's where I usually go. And so I was like, hey, I wrote it down. Yeah, so Ms. Vasquez, yeah, you're right. I don't do much coffee, but I do like Diet Mountain Dew and kind of keep it with me all the time. So thank you. Here's to you. So I appreciate that. Newport News Police Foundation. Hey, thank you. I talked a little bit about the Police Foundation Christmas party we had. Just all the volunteers, the stuff that board is phenomenal. Citizens, officers, that they had a party for officers to come by, get something to eat, fellowship with one another, bring their families. I thought it was a great event. I just sat down with Megan, who does the finances. We kind of looked at our projections, what we did, or what we're going to do for next year, and then what we did last year, and then they take that budget back to the board and they voted on it. It's very, very heavy in taking care of officers, and it's very, very heavy in community outreach, and extremely heavy in youth. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the young adult police commissioners. That's a freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior from each high school in our city. They meet with us every Wednesday for about 3 hours. It's supposed to be 6 high schools, 4 students from each. It's supposed to be 24. This year, Judge Flythe, just like every year, swore them in, all 50 of them. 50 of them. 50 of them. 50 teenagers in our city working with the police department. We learn as much from them as they do us. But they look at things differently. We have open conversations. What do teens want today? What are they looking for? Relationships, city government. After the first of the year, the president, vice president, and secretary will go to city council. They'll introduce themselves to Mayor Jones, the vice mayor, and the city council or city manager, and their message will just be that we're trying to bridge the gap between police and youth and make our city better. And I think it's great when young people are playing a role like that. I think we have some of the most talented youth in this state, if not in the country. But sitting down and having conversations and getting to know people, I think, goes a long way. And we've had individuals that have gone on from our program and into colleges or military and then come back and interact with us. My friend Samai has done numerous speaking engagements with us. Kayla, they're just phenomenal kids. Getting to see them graduate. We actually have one doing an internship with us. I won't embarrass her right now, but she did a big part with us for years, and now doing an internship with us. And she's actually hanging out with us today. Make sure I don't mess anything up. But Kyla's just doing a great job. So that's an important group for me as well. Working together is what we all work. Working together is what will work. Great, you are doing. Happy holidays to you as well. I'm a hot chocolate person as well, Chief Drew. I didn't graduate to coffee yet, Latoya. That's what I'm talking about. I just never could. Now look, Chief Hires. Don't have a conversation with Chief Hires before he's had his cup of coffee and he drinks it black. He doesn't put anything in it. He ain't put any sugar in there. He ain't putting any flavor in there. I'm like, hey, you want some Splenda or something? He's like, no. I did right out the pot into the cup, black, but don't talk to him. Now, Chief Creswell, that's your foo-foo coffee, right? That you got some foam coming out of it. You got some like chocolate swirls, maybe a little whipped cream. He and Sergeant Millette both. They have ice in it sometimes. I don't know where that comes from, right? It's like some flavor, right? It's like an explosion in their mouth, I guess. But Chief Hires, it's going to be black. Chief Grinstead, look, he's wherever coffee's at, he's good with. He's not real particular. Just give me something. Give me, But for me, I got to do a little hot chocolate. Joy, are they still planning to build all those houses near the old putt-putt, or has the plan been scrapped? Joy, help me when the old putt-putt. What area is that? Give me a neighborhood. I haven't seen a putt-putt golf course in a long time. What? Help me a little bit with that. Okay. Well, look, I just talked about Akela, and here she is. So I hope you're on Christmas break and not skipping class today, Miss College student. I was very impressed about your grades. It's good to hear from you. I hope you're doing well. Hope your family's well. Wishing you and your family a very, very Merry Christmas. And I do have some friends up there in that department keeping a check on you up there in Richmond, so just be safe. Donnie, I was wondering your thoughts on Trump declaring fentanyl a weapon of mass destruction and how that will affect policing in Newport News. I think I have that fact correct. Well, I will tell you, Donna, forget the political side of it. I do know the dangers of fentanyl. I see tremendous amounts of overdoses, not just here in Newport News, but in the Hampton Roads area of fentanyl. We have made arrests and found large quantities of fentanyl. Our relationship with our federal partners in cases where we've seen it brought into the state of Virginia, into the Hampton Roads area, the task forces that we're on, the partnerships with the state police. When you mix fentanyl with other drugs, it just becomes worse. And I'm always worried about the exposure to officers, right, when we're handling evidence and patting someone down or searching a residence. Fentanyl is very dangerous just to the touch, let alone to ingesting it, right? So I'm very concerned about it. We talk about fentanyl a lot, how it gets into the state of Virginia, or how it is being used, and there's always like different things added to it, or it's added to different things, whether it's marijuana, cocaine, heroin. So it's very concerning to me, and it has been for years. The Chiefs talk a lot about that a lot. We talk about fentanyl a lot, and keeping our officers safe, the dangers to our community, the dangers to youth. And I will tell you, in our overdoses that we respond to, we see that a lot. So I'm always and always have been concerned about not only just drug use in itself, but fentanyl is just like a higher level, man. So yeah, I hadn't seen the full reports on that. I know there was some discussion, but I can tell you we're always concerned about fentanyl. Patty, could you have a meet and learning event for the canine dogs where they train in balls, etc.? So I will tell you, we do have that. We embed it in our Citizens Academy. Monica White does a phenomenal job. Usually does 3 academies a year. It's about 20 to 25 individuals. And not only do you learn about canine, but other entities of the police department. It's like 9 weeks. And we just open the doors and really expose the department to our citizens. If you're asking just for something for canine alone, I know we do a lot of canine interactions with our schools. Some organizations, churches have asked to have a canine demonstration, and we can talk a little bit about it. We have bomb dogs, or gunpowder dogs, if you will. We have tracking dogs. We have 2 bloodhounds, right, that were missing children or missing individuals, looking for someone that maybe had wandered off, that might suffer from a mental illness. Probably our most famous canine right now is River, the newest one, and canine officer Douglas and River. They River, we got one very, very young, and that dog just continued to fill out and grow and is like 110 miles an hour. But yeah, if there's some organization that would like that, absolutely. And then that Citizens Academy really is an opening door into the department. But if there's a group, a church, or an organization like that, we can certainly arrange that. Talk about where the dogs come from, the cost of the dogs, how long it takes to train a dog, training handlers, the different uses that the dogs have. And we do that kind of as not only here locally, but as a region as well. Happy holidays, Chief. Is it Richardson? Am I reading that right? Yes. Mr. Richardson, right? Thank you, my friend. Happy holidays to you. God bless you and your family, and hope you have a great holiday season. Hope everyone is well. Jamie, did you create a handicap space in front of headquarters so I don't have to walk so far to get a yard sale permit sign? Miss Bazemore, oh my gosh. We do have parking, but I'll tell you this. If you come to headquarters and you need a yard sale permit sign, you let me know you're coming ahead of time, and we'll arrange it and have somebody meet you in the parking lot. All right, so you don't have to walk all the way in. We do have, if you haven't been to police headquarters, it is laid out. The parking lot's kind of a rectangle, but we do have a great facility. We're blessed. But Ms. Bazemore, you let me know when you're coming, and we'll work around it. That's wonderful. Thank you, my friend. Is it Teresa? I know a young man may be interested in youth advisory group. He does. How does he apply, and thanks? If you'll, man, look at it. I'm gonna throw some technology at you. Some IT talk, right? Because I'm like horrible at social media. I think if you direct message or drop a message, say that in the cloud or wherever, but if you direct message, contact number, I'll be glad to reach out to you. I don't know what high school he goes to, but we have representatives from each high school. They kind of have a contest about how many school resource officers can get the most high school kids to the group. But if you drop a number, Ms. Freeman, we'll reach out and have a conversation with you or this young man if you would like. We could do that. Donna, I agree. What a wonderful program for teens. Yeah, I will tell you, it is. Those kids, man, you get attached to them. Now look, here's my disclaimer. They drive me crazy sometimes. Those kids drive me crazy. But I'll tell you what, I love them kids, man. The relationship you build with them, things they see, go through. When like in our city, every police memorial, every graduation, recruit graduation, the one that happens in January as well, every national night out, every communication 911 ceremony, we have a high school student as the guest speaker. Every ceremony. And I don't know if you see that anywhere else in the country. But what I'm trying to do is build a relationship with the youth of this city, that they matter to this department, and to share with this department that we're going to focus on youth. And man, to hear those kids talk about and encourage officers and thank them for the job they do, that's a game changer, man. That's a game changer for us. Miss Bowie. Miss Bowie, I know I'm your second favorite police chief. I know the Chief Bowie out there in Suffolk area, but I appreciate you taking the time to chime in. I got a great Christmas card that said Merry Christmas, and I'm just going to tell you. I'm just going to put it out there. Chief Bowie wrote, I want you to know I wrote this myself, not my wife. So when I saw that, man, we had a big laugh at the department. But I appreciate you. You have a great family. Your husband is phenomenal servant to the community there in Suffolk, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here. I personally want to wish you and your family and your community and city a very Merry Christmas. We have a great relationship, and man, I'm really appreciative of all the friendships that we have. And I know I give him a hard time, man, but we got to talk on the phone the other day, and that Christmas card, I got to laughing about that. So thank you for that very, very much. Councilman Ely, thank you for all you do, my friend. I appreciate your support to the department, the relationship you've had. I know you've shown up on many scenes yourself and thanked officers. I know we've had a lot of conversations, again, early in the morning, the afternoon, late at night about things that happen. I know you're engaged in your community. You ask hard questions, but I appreciate that. I appreciate that relationship. And it means a lot. I would say, I was talking about Mayor Jones just a little bit ago. I don't know that you always see that type of relationship, and I'm thankful. I am thankful that we have that in this city. and I'm thankful for the investment that you've made in this department, the support that you've given. I can't tell you that the times that you called and just said, "Hey, tell the officers thank you," and that means a lot. That means a lot, and I greatly appreciate that. You had a great event the other day. I was just talking earlier on the session about the food giveaway at Heritage and seeing people come in and get something to eat. That was just a great event. The vendors that were there really enjoyed it. So thank you for allowing us to be a part of that and what you do for the community, my friend. Warwick Village near Brandon Heights. Yeah, 638 new homes. Yeah, Joy, I'll have to check. I don't want to tell you wrong. I will just have to check. I didn't know there was a putt-putt course there before. Crystal's laughing at me, so I may be going back a little bit before my time, but I'll have to check on that one and get back to you. Yes, I agree. You've been doing a great crime down before you came to Newport News. Crime rate was high. Well, I will tell you. You know, I don't. The credit goes when we talk about our low crime rates. The credit goes to the men and women who do this job day in and day out, sworn and civilian both. Our dispatchers, our officers. It goes to the city management and the elected officials who give us the tools, the manpower, the funding, and the ability. It goes to the relationships that we've created with all the partnerships that we've talked about, and it goes to the community members here in building that relationship with law enforcement and the police department in different communities, sharing information, talking. You know, law enforcement and communities have to evolve, and if we don't, we kind of get left behind. We do things today that I never thought we would do. I'm going to share with you this. When we used to do surveillances, when I started, we were doing this with binoculars, right? We were the guys in the van that would pull the curtain back and look at make sure this store doesn't get robbed, or we're going to make sure this business doesn't get broken into. We've come so far in technology, and so yeah, we have seen a drop in crime. We are having some good successes last year and this year. On top of that, those lows that we saw, there was a decade lows last year, and we're below where we were. I'm not, like I said, I'm not spiking the football. We still got a couple weeks left in the year. We're going to get through Christmas. We're going to get through New Year's Eve. But I'm thankful for the atmosphere and the culture that we have in our community and our city. I just think we're just doing some great things, and I'm talking collectively. So I appreciate that, but the credit really goes to the men and women who do this job day in and day out, my friend. Thank you for that. Sandra says, happy holidays, everyone. Be safe. Same to you. Thank you, my friend. Ms. Boo, on the subject of fentanyl, has Newport News seen a decrease or overdoses since the federal government started putting shipments at the bottom of the ocean? Well, shipments. Well, I will tell you, we do monitor that. You know, overdoses on fentanyl. We saw a spike for a while. They're still pretty steady. We do send detectives to each overdose to try to get an idea of where it came from, what kind of drugs. We're getting reports. We have a great relationship with the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Administration, on purity levels and quantities. We're talking to our federal partners all the time, the regional chiefs, right? But I can just tell you, anytime you deal with fentanyl, it's dangerous. And you know, we're not even talking, God forbid, right? We're not talking about fentanyl that might have been in someone's residence that a child gets a hold of, or an infant. You know, it's just a dangerous drug, and it's just always very concerning to me. Amen. Thank you, Rich. I appreciate it. If I hit everybody, I didn't skip over anybody. I didn't forget anybody. We're right at like 103. Man, this has been a great session. I'll tell you, I'll close out here. I don't want to hold anyone too long. I really appreciate everyone that took the time. I had some really good conversations today. The things we talked about going on in the department, the crime reduction we're seeing in our city, some of the events that you've seen, our clearance rates, our closure rates, the events that are going on, the recruits that are getting ready to graduate, our focus on youth. I will tell you, I hope some of you will be back. We'll do this again this evening at 6. But I'll tell you, I want to wish all of our residents and officers a very Merry Christmas. I don't know if you're traveling or staying in town. You know, it's a time about thinking about others, right? You never know what someone's going through, what challenges people are facing, and that's hard. We don't know what individual we're going to get called to respond to a house, maybe a domestic situation or a welfare check. We don't know who we're going to be interacting with on the traffic stop. I encourage officers, just remember, you don't know. And the same thing with citizens. Sometimes you run into an officer that might have just come from a horrible situation. You just don't know. I'm thankful for the city we have, thankful to be able to work here. There are great men and women who do this job day in and day out, sworn in civilian. But just remember to look out for each other, take care of each other. As Chief Creswell will say, buddy check each other. Yeah, Christmas is special. It's my favorite holiday, favorite time of the year. Erica, good to see you. Kathy, thanks for being here. Hello, Merry Christmas to you, Kathy. I appreciate that. But yeah, I'm going to do a quick video to officers after here and thank them for the events that they covered this weekend. But to all of you, please be safe. Have a very, very Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah as we move into New Year's. I cannot believe we're this far into the year in 2025. Right around the corner, we'll be in 2026. Matter of fact, we'll do this again tonight. The next time we do this will be January. It'll be a new year. So if I don't get to see you or talk to you guys, please have a great New Year's. Be safe. Merry Christmas and happy holidays. And we'll do this again tonight at 6. Did I admit, Erica? You know, my oldest son passed away on April the 4th. I knew it was towards the beginning of the year. I didn't know the date. Ms. Brooks, I appreciate you sharing that, and I'll say my thoughts go out to you and your family. I know the holidays are hard. Barnes, Merry Christmas. I appreciate that. Happy holidays. Be safe, Mary. I appreciate that. Again, thank you for all tuning in. We'll do this again at 6 o'clock. God bless you guys, and thank you for looking out for one another. Be safe.